What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where I keep you updated on the fourth stimulus check update, as well as what is going on in the world today. President Biden has signed a new presidential executive order, and we have a lot of movement on the fourth stimulus check push to be included in this next infrastructure slash stimulus package. We're also going to talk about IRS tax refunds and money owed for the IRS. So we got several different things to talk about. Let's jump right in. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on updates on the upcoming fourth round of stimulus, as there is a lot of different stimulus provisions on the horizon, including a fourth stimulus check and really a lot more, just like we've seen in the last stimulus packages. Don't forget to hit the like button, and here we go directly to the source, President Biden.
Good afternoon, everyone. Earlier this week, I spoke with President Putin of Russia about the nature of our relationship, the relationship between our two countries. And I was candid, respectful. The conversation was candid and respectful. Two great powers with significant responsibility for global stability. And President Putin and I have had a significant responsibility to steward that relationship. I take that responsibility very seriously, as I'm sure he does. Russia and Americans are both proud and patriotic people, and I believe the Russian people, like the American people, are invested in a peaceful and secure future of our world. During the campaign for the presidency, I was unequivocal that if I was elected president, I'd respond to any attempt to influence our elections, the last election, and because elections are sacred. They're sovereign undertakings, and they're an expression of the will of the American people. And we cannot allow a foreign power to interfere in our democratic process with impunity. And I told them if it turned out that as I thought, that there was engagement in our elections, that I'd respond. Later, during the transition, as we learned more about the SolarWinds cyber intrusion, I made clear that I would respond once we determined who had, in fact, conducted a hack on the scope and scale that occurred. When President Putin called me in January after I was sworn in to congratulate me, I told him that my administration would be looking very carefully, now that we had access to all the data, at the issues to assess Russia's role and then determine what response we would make. When we spoke again this week, I told him that we would shortly be responding in a measured and a proportionate way because we had concluded that they had interfered in the election and SolarWinds was totally out of the inappropriate. Today, I've approved several steps, including expulsion of several Russian officials as a consequence of their actions. I've also signed an executive order authorizing new measures, including sanctions to address specific harmful actions that Russia has taken against U.S. interests. I was clear with President Putin that we could have gone further, but I chose not to do so. I chose to be proportionate. The United States is not looking to kick off a cycle of escalation and conflict with Russia. We want a stable, predictable relationship. If Russia continues to interfere with our democracy, I'm prepared to take further actions to respond. It is my responsibility as President of the United States to do so. But throughout our long history of competition, our two countries have been able to find ways to manage tensions and to keep them from escalating out of control. There are also areas where Russia and the United States can and should work together. For example, in the earliest days of my administration, we were able to move quickly to extend for 5 years the New START Treaty and maintain that key element of nuclear stability between our nations. That was in the interest of the United States, of Russia, and quite frankly, of the world. And we got it done. When I spoke to President Putin, I expressed my belief that communication between the two of us personally and directly was to be essential in moving forward to a more effective relationship, and he agreed on that point. To that end, I propose that we meet in person this summer in Europe for a summit to address a range of issues facing both of our countries. Our teams are discussing that possibility right now. And out of that summit, were it to occur, and I believe it will, the United States and Russia could launch a strategic stability dialogue to pursue cooperation in arms control and security. We can address critical global challenges that require Russia and the United States to work together, including reining in nuclear threats from Iran and North Korea, ending this pandemic globally, and meeting the existential crisis of climate change. I also made clear to President Putin that the United States is unwavering in our support of our allies and partners in Europe. In that vein, I expressed concern about Russia's military buildup on Ukraine's border and in occupied Crimea. And I strongly urged him to refrain from any military action. Now is the time to de-escalate. The way forward is through thoughtful dialogue and diplomatic process. The U.S. is prepared to continue constructively to move toward that process. My bottom line is this: where there's an interest in the United States to work with Russia, we should and we will. Where Russia seeks to violate the interests of the United States, we will respond. We'll always stand in defense of our country, our institutions, our people, and our allies. Thank you very much for your time.
Mr. President, did President Putin give you any indication in that call that he is willing to change his behavior?
We indicated we would talk about it. I laid out, as I said, very simply. I said during the campaign, I said when he called to congratulate me on being elected, I said subsequent to that, this last conversation, that if it turned out that he was engaged in the activities that he'd been accused of in cybersecurity and solar winds and interfering in our elections, that I would respond in kind. I urged him to respond appropriately, not to exceed it, because we can move as well. My hope and expectation is we'll be able to work out a modus vivendi, but it's important that we have direct talks and that we continue to be in contact with one another. Thank you.
So President Biden has gone ahead and went with an executive order to do sanctions on the Russian government based on their interference in the 2020 election. So yeah, this is very interesting, and we'll have to see if Russia tries to retaliate against us for these actions in any way. I mean, I don't think they're going to do anything drastic, but I'll keep you updated on this situation. Tell me what you think about this. Do you think Russia interfered in the election? Do you think this will continue? Do you think we can be allies with them? Yeah, it's another tricky situation. It seems like we don't have a shortage of tricky situations going on right now with our country. Fourth stimulus check news has now hit mainstream media as the push for a fourth stimulus check to be included in this infrastructure package, and multiple dozens of Democrats pushing for not just one stimulus check in this next package, but monthly reoccurring stimulus checks is heating up. And this is good news because the more support, the more media attention, the more push we get for a fourth stimulus check or a recurring fourth stimulus check, a monthly stimulus check, the better. Remember, the push to include extra stimulus in this infrastructure/stimulus package, the more push, the more support, the more likely it is that we will see this. And the Democrats are likely going to pass this bill completely on their own. So they likely will be able to put anything they want in this fourth stimulus check package, like the Senate bill from Senators Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren for the $2,000 monthly stimulus checks until the pandemic is over, or the House Democratic bill, which is for a one-time $2,000 stimulus checks, then followed by $1,000 monthly recurring stimulus check payments every single month until 1 year after the pandemic is declared over. It seems like we get a little more support, a few groups and a few new Democrats almost every single day, adding to the public amount of people that are pushing not just for a fourth stimulus check, but actually for a monthly stimulus check. The vast majority of Democrats that are speaking out for another stimulus check are actually pushing out for monthly stimulus checks. That seems to be the direction that everybody in the Democratic Party that is speaking out for the monthly version of the fourth stimulus check. So it'll be interesting to see what we see transpire in this infrastructure/stimulus package before all is said and done. The IRS is still actually delivering some $1,400 third stimulus checks. It'll be interesting to see if we see another direct deposit round of $1,400 stimulus checks. They're also sending out plus up stimulus checks. It's an interesting name for it because the $1,400 stimulus check was considered a plus up for the $600 plus the $1,400 plus up equaled the $2,000 stimulus checks that was promised by Congress before. They have now done that, but they're also calling this new round of mini stimulus checks a plus up. And this is for people who are owed additional stimulus money that may have gotten less stimulus than they received or than they were supposed to receive. As you can see here, plus up payments will go to Americans who didn't receive as much stimulus money as they were entitled to. So if you received less money than you were supposed to, the IRS might be sending you out a direct deposit or a stimulus check in the mail for that. They're also still sending out mail paper checks in the mail and debit cards, so please keep your eye on that as well. We could see more direct deposit rounds, but we'll have to see. The plus up stimulus checks are for people who got less than they were supposed to, or there's a couple different situations. So if you just filed your 2020 taxes and say you had a new baby in 2020 and you didn't receive stimulus checks for them, when you file your 2020 taxes and you tell the IRS about your new baby via your tax return, you can actually get the first and second stimulus checks for them. You can also do this for adult dependents or college students if in 2019 you claim them as a dependent, so they didn't get the first and second stimulus checks, when adult dependents didn't get the first and second stimulus checks, they got the third one. But you can correct that if you don't claim them as a dependent on the 2020 tax return and they file a tax return saying, hey, I'm not a dependent anymore. You can actually have them go back and retroactively get the first and second stimulus check. That's another little trick you can do. The other thing you can do is if you got a reduced income, a reduced stimulus check based on your income from your 2019 tax returns, or even didn't get a stimulus check, if you made less money in 2020 and you file your 2020 taxes, you can they will give you a plus up check. So they're saying they're going to automatically calculate this. So I'll keep you up to date on any new information that comes out on this. Many people are still waiting for tax refunds from the IRS. As you can see here, it's been a year since Lori Myers and her husband filed their 2019 tax return, but they're still waiting for their tax refund to arrive. The total amount the government owes them is $11,700. She says, this has fundamentally changed the way I look at a refund. I used to look at it as I have a little bit extra taken out, and then I have a big windfall once a year and I use it for helpful things. I will never do that again. The IRS says they're still processing a backlog of 1.7 million tax returns from 2019. And when you combine this with 2020, depending on the number and if they're even reporting this right, there's possibly 10 million tax returns that haven't even been processed yet. And they're still getting more by the day as they've pushed back the tax deadline from April 15th to May 17th. So a lot of people are still filing their tax returns every single day. And the IRS just does not have the manpower to keep it up, as they're also still trying to send out third stimulus checks. And they're also setting up a portal for the child income tax credits that are increased now for 2021. The previous child tax credit for 2020 was $2,000 per child, but they increased it in the third stimulus check package to $3,000 for children under or children over the age of 6 through 17. And for children under the age of 6, it's $3,600. They're setting up a portal so that you can claim this via monthly stimulus payments or monthly checks of $250 to $300 per month. They are also saying that this portal, if you have a new baby in 2021, because this is a tax credit for 2021, or at least the newer, larger amount is, that the IRS portal that they're setting up, that they're going to have a possibility in there where you can tell the IRS that you have a new baby in the family. Congratulations if you do, by the way. Our baby will be turning 3 on April 17th. I'm sorry, April 27th. April 27th. I looked down and seen today is April 17th. So in 10 days, yeah, our little son will be 3 years old. So, yeah, there's still a lot of payments and processing going on. They're still trying to get the tax returns. They're setting up this portal for the child income tax credits, aka the child stimulus payments that are going to be paid out $250 to $300 per month for 6 months, the second half of the year. And then the additional money is going to be paid to you on the tax return for 2021, which will be next year in March, April, whenever you get your tax refund. Remember, you're normally not supposed to get this at all until the tax refund of next year. Normally, you just get it in your tax return, but they're setting up a new system to claim this money early, which will start likely in July. So, in about 2.5 months, they're setting up this program to give you the money early and give you this monthly stimulus checks of $250 to $300 per month. There's also a very real possibility that in the fourth stimulus check package, they will expand this for more than 1 year. And they're also talking about making it permanent. So this could permanently be $3,000 to $3,600 per child, as long as you make under the income requirements, which at this time is the same as the third stimulus check. A lot of other things we could see, yeah, that they're pushing for included in this fourth stimulus check package, the infrastructure package, is the expansion of Medicare and possibly Medicaid. They want to add dental and hearing coverage onto Medicare with basically free dental visits and free hearing aids, which would be amazing and wouldn't cost anything extra. They also want to lower the age eligibility for Medicare, possibly to 60 or even as low as 55. And that would be a welcome change. That's a stimulus program that would save people thousands of dollars per year or get them thousands of dollars of extra coverage. They're also looking to possibly have free preschool and free community college in this infrastructure package. Remember, the second half of this package is going to be the human infrastructure, and we're likely going to see a lot of different stimulus items like this included, even just up until days before they pass it. Remember, the $600 second stimulus check was added in just literally days before they passed it. They added it in and then wrote the bill and then passed it. So they can add in anything literally up to the last minute. Also, I've been getting a lot of questions asking about me and my wife. I'll give you a health update on us. My wife has a kidney disease called MSK, and she's basically in pain every day. The last few days, she's actually been in agony. So, your prayers have been very thankful. Thank you so much. She's in a lot more pain than me. I have a cyst on my spine or near my spine that I'm going to see the doctor for on, let me see here, April 20th. Yeah, April 20th. I'm going to see a spine surgeon. I hope they don't have to remove it because that sounds pretty intensive. I'm hoping we don't have to go that route. Steroids seem to help it a lot. But the other issue that I've really been dealing with, kind of worse than that, my back's actually been a lot better since the steroids that I had. And I mean, I have pain, but it's much, much better. The bigger issue is I've been dealing with vertigo, or what we think is vertigo, what my doctor thinks is vertigo, for almost like 2 weeks now. I had a bout of this like maybe a month ago, and then the doctor prescribed me meclizine, and it went away after, I don't remember, several days, a couple days or something like that. It went away, and now it's came back, and I've had it for like 2 weeks, and it's to the point where I can almost not drive. Like, it's on a scale of 1 to 10 of being dizzy, it's like a 5 or 6 sometimes even. It almost feels like I'm drunk, but I'm not. I'm not. So, and some days it's like maybe a 3 out of 10. 10 being worst. But man, I've really been stuck in this 4 to 5 range where it's like it's kind of like I feel like I'm dizzy, maybe underwater, maybe like I drank too much, but I haven't. It's kind of like how it feels. And the meclizine I'm taking 3 times a day and just has not been helping. And I've read that you can have vertigo for even months. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I seen some of your guys' comments the last time I mentioned that. Let me know if you have dealt with that before in the past, but I just don't want to be dizzy anymore. So I'm hoping it goes away. I mean, luckily I work here from home with our different businesses and stuff. But yeah, it's been crazy. So thank you all for your well wishes. I wish you guys all the best too. I'll bring you all the latest information on stimulus and everything that's going on with our country. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates. It's completely free to subscribe. I don't charge anything like some other channels do for some things, but I don't charge you anything. My goal is to improve your lives, get you as much money as you're owed or what you could get through these different packages, and eventually make you financially free. So thanks for joining the channel. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA, which me and my wife, it's one of our businesses. We sell products on Amazon, and we have dozens of students that have replaced their 9 to 5 income. And we also teach people how to do that as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.